This episode of MMA Nuts is brought to you by GoDaddy.com. Get a 99-cent .com or transfer with code MMA99. TiVo. Get $50 off a Roamio DVR with code MMA. With Benso. Get 15% off your order with code MMA Nuts. Woo! Hey fans, it's MMA Nuts, episode 234.
Which one? 233 or 4. I don't know. I think it's 3, but
Is it 3?
we'll correct that in post. It's 3. Who are you? It's 3.
I'm Ingo Weigel. Sorry.
Back from the show. My fans, we're walking the line between serious and ridiculous. We're a little off.
I'm a week ahead.
It's all good. We just watched Frank Mir versus Bigfoot Silva. Hey, what happened there, Ingo?
I don't know.
Frank Mir took a year off of his life, did the best training ever, said didn't really need TRT. Better training.
Said he was training too hard.
Yeah.
Now he's not training at all.
He just shows up to kick ass.
Practice? Talking about practice. Remember that, Allen Iverson?
No.
Oh, that was the funny thing. Like the basketball player
Yeah.
for the Sixers, he's like, practice? He's like, they want me to come to practice? He's like, I play games. Like,
I play games, son.
come to practice?
Time to practice.
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, Mir looked good, I thought, interesting style, interesting. I didn't even realize until they pointed out he went from lefty to righty. Like he's fighting orthodox now. So, which was interesting. Seemed to help him.
Yeah, and Bigfoot employing the same strategy he did against Andrei Arlovsky, where you just stand in front of the guy and
Tomato can.
yeah, wait to get knocked the fuck out. And what'd you think about Bigfoot's physique?
Well, he looked a little more doughy than usual, which is understandable given there's no TRT.
Yeah, I think he makes a case for should be on TRT.
Yeah, well,
There's a legit medical reason for him.
I know, but it's like, can you allow
anyway.
people to do that? I don't
I'll have
know.
to save that for the
Anyways.
discussion. It's all good. So Frank Mir is back. He was number 13. He fights number 8. Now he's number 8.
That's how it works.
That's how my math is
Just
going. Fuck it.
I killed you, I take your spot.
Exactly.
He literally almost killed him.
He did. It was once he
brutal.
got down, it was just, whoa. It was smart. He didn't go straight in. Went around to the side.
Yep.
Raining punches, and then I fucking elbow, blew his ear off or something.
Yes.
Blood everywhere. It's a good win for him. Good to see.
It was.
I didn't mind that.
No.
He lost 4 in a row, and looks like he can make hopefully another run.
I say he goes to 205.
That could be a good move. He's only I think he weighed in at 261. Fuck it. Who cares? Weight cutting's not cheating.
Okay.
Everyone's doing it.
Yeah. He's got TRT problems now. I think with the weight cut. I have to cut 55 pounds.
I'm just gonna cut off a limb and then I'll make weight. Is that
yes.
cool?
Yes.
I don't know. You'll donate a lot of blood. 50 pounds of blood.
What do you think's next for Mir? What are they going to give him?
Ooh.
Who hasn't he fought? Because we were just talking about this. He's fought like
He's
everybody.
fought everybody in the top 10 pretty much. Travis Brown could be a matchup. I know Brown's fighting Arlovsky here, but
Should they do Mir Arlovsky?
I'd be good with that one too. Maybe, I don't know if you give him winner or loser of that fight. I guess you gotta kind of let some of this play out. Because Hunt, it's like all these guys are tied up again. I think the only one who doesn't have anything in the top 10 is like Barnett right now. But we already saw that.
Yeah, we don't want to see that.
We don't need to see that again. So we gotta kind of let some of these fights shake out.
Yep.
I think either him against Arlovsky, him against Brown, him against Hunt.
Brock Lesnar!
Or you save him for the Brock Lesnar.
UFC 189 and July 4th weekend.
And what's the rumor mill on Lesnar? Now I'm hearing rumors that he's not coming back. I thought it was
Supposedly.
a done deal.
No, I don't know. It's all over the place. Maybe nothing ever happened. Nobody did anything, and it's just like the media just stirring shit up. I don't know.
There's like rumors of concussions and people talking. I think it was Pat Barry who was mentioning something about the training camps where they weren't allowed to punch Brock in the head or something.
I didn't hear
He's
that
worried
part.
about concussions.
Oh, really? I didn't hear about that.
Mm-hmm.
He's worried about... Why, does he have a concussion?
I think he probably suffered many of those in the WWE.
Oh.
And probably looking out for the long-term life after the profession's over.
Good point. And plus, he's got shit tons of money. The guy doesn't seem like he likes to spend it either. So he can live off whatever. He's probably a happy guy, He's got his shit together. What are you gonna do?
Not fight. Enjoy the money.
Yeah. Don't get dropped on your head.
That's usually a good life plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ready to hit some news now?
Yes. Before we do,
go ahead.
Can I bring up something? We have my iPad shut down. We have a new sponsor, and it is brought to you by worldofwatches.com, where you can save $10 off 90 with MMA10, code MMA10, $20 off 175 with code MMA20, and also thewatchery.com, where you can save $50 off of 500 with code MMA50 and $100 off 1,000 with MMA100. Now,
watching it up over here.
Dude, that's not a lot of money for a badass watch. I should be wearing it. I forgot.
I don't even have a watch. Yeah. Well, I do, but I don't wear watches anymore.
Yeah, they kind of bug me. I mean, there's some ridiculously expensive watches out there. They look badass, but I'm like, what the fuck you spent? Like, what is it, Pete with his Ferrari watch? How much is that thing?
He's like, the band. The same people that make the tires for Ferrari make the band on my wristwatch. Like, is that going to get you more pussy or what? Does it matter?
It probably does.
He probably I don't know how much you spent. It was like fucking over $1,000 for a watch.
He told me $2,500.
It was something crazy. He asked me, should I buy this watch? I said, no, you shouldn't buy that fucking watch. Are you out of your mind?
But it's going to get me more pussy.
Yeah.
Fuck a Porsche. I want this watch.
Oh, my God.
Should have bought the Ferrari. But, yeah, cool. So, I mean, MMA 10, MMA 20, MMA 50, and MMA 100 on World of Watches and the Watchery. So, I don't know. Everybody, should own at least one watch.
Yeah.
I have a couple.
I have them.
I wear them here and there. They bug me, especially in the winter. It's dry skin,
It's like a wedding ring.
You stop wearing yours? Okay. I wear mine. Whatever.
It's a good move. That's a good move.
To wear it?
Until you hit 40 and then you'll be like, what? It's just, what's stuff on me?
Yeah. They have these new ones now. I was seeing that they're made of some special material, like a silicone type thing, which like hugs your finger. You don't even feel it's on. And it's safe. So like there's no way to injure yourself. Apparently. Nice. It'll rip if you get it caught on something.
Oh, yeah.
So this is, dangerous.
It is.
You could hurt yourself. Probably going to lose my finger.
Lose it in an orifice.
It'd be weird if I didn't have a finger.
Instant shocker. All perfect. The time. They go to shake someone's hand. Hey, what are you doing?
Don't worry.
I don't know if I want to shake your hand, sir. It's all good. This is my left hand. This one's for business. This one's for pleasure.
That's right.
Like what?
Business, pleasure.
It's like what kind of fucking mullet hands you got there.
It's like that bed commercial. You ever see that one with the guy and his wife in the bed?
No.
He's like. Because he's laying in bed and he's like, this side's for pleasure. And then he rolls over and he goes, business. And he goes back and he goes, pleasure. And he rolls back and he goes, business. And he goes back and he goes, pleasure. And he tries to roll back and his wife, she's like, it's one bed. Because she's like in bed reading or whatever. The joke. They play on the joke. I don't know. You've seen the commercial. Not you, but they have. Matt doesn't watch TV.
I do, but what's a commercial? And go, I've got TiVo.
Oh, good point.
That's about it.
Yeah, TiVo. You can save a boatload of money with TiVo. Listen, go to our deals page. Go to our website and click on the coupons and deals. And there's a lot of good shit there. Spend some money. Support the show.
Let's hit some news.
Sorry.
It's all good. Okay. Love you. UFC's press conference this last week. So
oh, no. Here we go.
We got to get into this. We're going to go a little deeper. You know we're going to talk about this. We have to. I had a lot of time to digest
I was hoping you were not going to bring this up.
Have to talk about it. So basically, I can sum up the whole press conference in one sentence. UFC wants a clean sport at all costs.
Okay.
Enough said and done right there.
Do you think they mean it?
Well, I want to lay out what they said, and then we can talk about if they mean it or not.
Sounds good.
Because basically what's going to happen, every fighter, this is their plan. By July 1st, every fighter on the roster is going to be randomly drug tested or subjected to it. All the main events, title fights, drug tested. And then I think they want to also do in-competition tests. So like the day of the fight, every fighter on the card is going to get like the basic drug test.
Wow.
So, and they're talking some steep penalties. It sounded like Lorenzo wanted to have a 4-year ban.
Whoa.
For your first-time offender. but would be happy with a 2. So he's looking at least a 2.
Lifetime ban.
Yeah, well,
like, whoa.
it's weird that I'm kind of wondering where they're operating from, because it almost seems they're operating out of fear, and I don't know where that fear comes from. Is it from losing Fox as
Probably.
a partner? Almost sounds like it might be the Reebok, because it kind of coincides with when this uniform deal starts. It's July 1st, and that's when they're trying to get all this stuff done. But to the other question you're asking, it's kind of genius in one sense, because the UFC has swung the pendulum. I thought it was going to go to the right, or a little bit. It went as far as you could have done, unless you said, okay, lifetime ban, first time offender. But they come out saying clean sport, blah blah blah. This is what we need to do. The challenge is, well, you got to change all the contracts, which is not going to be easy when you have 500 plus fighters, close to 600. And then you also have...
Think of the trees, Matt, that they're going to kill.
Oh, my God. It's luckily, everyone's on the paperless system. You can save $5 off your bill.
Perfect.
And the athletic commissions, because each athletic commission runs it differently. Like, you look at Texas, and I forgot what cards happened there, UFC 185, where they said they're not going to do any out-of-competition drug testing. So you'd have to get every athletic commission, and every state is running it differently, and you need to get every single one of them on the same page. And then you want to talk about ones in other countries. Like getting everybody on the same page. So there's no way you're going to get everybody on board to do all this.
Well, not by July 1st. But maybe by July
So what do you
31st?
think? What do you think when you heard all this? Like,
what's my thought?
Yeah, is this good for the sport, or?
Well, my first thought is that it's all smoke and mirrors. It's all like, look over here, oh, look over here, oh, It's kind of like, they came out guns blazing, but is that what really they're doing? I mean, if they're paying all these drug testing commissions all this money, like, who's to say they're not going to overlook things, or, you don't want to test this guy right now, but in a week, it should be good, kind of. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure, because I always got the impression the UFC didn't care about TRT and drugs and all that stuff. I always felt like they just wanted the best I mean, they've proved it to me by, look, Anderson Silva fought after, dude, the guy's on all kinds of shit. Don't tell me they didn't know that. Come on. There's big money on the line.
They're claiming they didn't know that.
John Jones, coked up out of his mind like a couple weeks before the fight. Oh, just fight.
$25,000 fine.
There's a little slap on the wrist.
Yeah, it's normal.
Dana's like, here, go pay your bill. You take this stack of cash. He's like at the fucking blackjack table.
Yeah.
You're like, here you go.
Yeah, here's a performance bonus. Don't worry about it.
Whatever. I don't know. I'm so confused. I don't know what. My big thing is I think you may be right that they are scared because they have this large debt out there, which from what I remember last time was around $500 million, 500 million some. Of like revolving credit that they owe, and Fox is backing, Reebok's backing. They're probably trying to get another big sponsor.
And think about all the other sponsors like Harley Davidson. Who else is in there? Bud Light, Muscle Farm, all the big sponsors that are around the octagon. So you'd imagine, it sounds like someone, if not multiple sponsors, have said, "Hey,
you
guys got a problem. You gotta clean this up, or we're out."
Yeah, we don't want to be part of this shit. So maybe that's it. Or maybe they really care. I don't know. But I feel like there's no way. What are they just going to fucking bust everybody? I mean, okay, if you're out there cheating or cheating as per the rules as they are laid out now, can you really stop in 3-4 months?
No, because even look at what happened to all the guys that were on TRT, for example.
Yeah.
2 of them just fought. 1 of them won. Bigfoot Silva was on it, and there's a guy who medically really needs it.
Yes.
And his arms, he looked like a little girl, 4th grade girl. He's lactating. I thought he was going to employ the lactation method.
He was going to cry.
I'm
crying.
Maybe that's why he wasn't so aggressive in his last 2 fights.
I love you, Nogueira. Have my babies.
Yeah. I think Frank Mir should have dedicated the win to Big Nog, by the way.
Yeah, maybe.
And
I was thinking he was trying to avoid getting killed.
Yeah, that's probably a good move. The Brazilian fans not so into the American.
No emotion.
Silence.
Dead silence.
Why even translate it then? Because
no point.
You're getting nothing. Who else? Dan Henderson off the TRT.
All of a sudden, his chin goes. Is that old age?
Overeem, when he got tested positive, like his next couple fights, he's getting knocked out, and the same thing is with, like we were talking Bigfoot Silva. So we're I'm okay if you want to have the so-called clean sport, as long as the quality of the fights that we were accustomed to seeing doesn't go away.
Oh, it's gonna go away.
That's where I struggle.
Unfortunately.
Because even I look at myself, I hit 35, and when I'm training, it's out the fucking door. And then you hit 40, and it's even worse. Like, I couldn't even get through like a weight workout, a 1 hour weight workout. I'm like, oh, I'm just dying. Unless you're enhanced.
What about now on the TRT?
Oh, fucking awesome. I'm not even gonna lie, it's so good. Like I can do, and do weights, do cardio, and I'll do a 30-minute session in the sauna, and I come out, I'm fucking like a champ. No, I am
literally fucking like a champ.
It's no bullshit. It's like Boogie Nights. Fuck like a champ.
He's got like one of those sex swings.
No.
Crazy shit.
But I could.
That's an idea.
But no.
Wait, you have the thing for it.
I do have apparati. Well, that's a hook for my heavy bag.
But that would be perfect for one of those things.
Thank you, Ingo. Mental
Always
note,
giving you ideas.
by swing.
Just don't have these chairs in here when you're doing that, okay?
That's fine.
I don't want to get any shrapnel on my chair.
Hey, I mix them up. I'll at least cover it.
It's all good. Plastic. Yeah.
It's true.
I don't know. The big thing for me is I'm thinking these guys can't train as hard anymore. So are you going to end up having like... You would think the young guys would start to come out ahead, right? If this
maybe
is the new thing?
I mean it's going to go one of two ways. Like the top tier guys are going to find better shit that is undetectable.
Is there such a thing anymore? Things they can't detect?
They're always like the users are always going to be one step ahead of the game. I think that was what Victor Conte was saying when he was on the Rogan podcast too. That I probably should re-listen to that one. That they're always one step ahead. So if you've got the money, which is weird too, because you think Anderson Silva's got the money, but maybe he's not in touch with the right people. But if you have the money, you're going to be ahead of the game. The thing is though, I want to go back to the age thing. Like if you're 35 and over, and I'll do a conservative estimate of 50%. Say 50% of the fighters are on something. We're going to wipe out a ton of people here, one way or another. They're either going to get caught using, or they're going to just have to retire because they can't fight at the pace they used to anymore. And then it also opens the question in the door, like, do you think other organizations are going to benefit? Because take Bellator, for example, where they're fighting at, Indian casinos half the time, and you look at this Reebok sponsorship thing where Matt Mitrione just came out and said he's losing a $30,000 sponsor because of this new deal. So I'm like, oh, I can go over to Bellator, maybe not be drug tested as much, maybe you still will be able to get the sponsors, and they're probably in a lot higher demand after a year now because you can't sponsor a UFC guy, and you want to be in this space. So does that open doors for the other organizations to get more fighters in now?
Probably. I would see that being the case. I mean, hard to say, but you don't think Bellator will follow suit? No.
Why would they? They don't need to.
Well, I mean, then the UFC can sit on their high horse and say, "Well, we're clean."
Well, they can say they've tried to make it clean, but it also goes back to the athletic commissions because ultimately they're the ones who are in control of this.
Yeah.
Because then there's also that weird dynamic too of, even if the UFC contracts some third party, who's in control at the end of the day? Is it the third party or is it the athletic commission? Like, who's overseeing all this? The UFC can say, this is what we want to do. That's great. But there's an athletic commission, there's a third party, and the UFC. Who's in control of the results? It has to be the athletic commission.
Yes.
The UFC can fund it, and they've said they've spent, I think, $500,000 last year. And they're willing to spend millions upon millions, but one organization needs to be in control. And I don't even know if the athletic commission is the right person to be in control of it if they're the ones who are collecting the fines, right?
Yeah, there needs to be like a unbiased
outside
party.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody with no, what do you call it, skin in the game.
Mm-hmm. Because then you have the weirdness of, hey, this guy tested positive before the fight, still was able to fight, and we somehow got the results after the fight.
Yeah. Strange.
My bad. Now give me $300,000.
Yes.
So sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting. Interesting times, Matt. It keeps evolving and changing, and
Yeah. I don't know if it's good or bad yet. I'm kind of...
time will tell.
Yeah, that's really the answer. Time will tell. I just know it's going to be different. And
Yeah.
I don't know if different is good yet.
Well, I think the one thing it will certainly show for sure is if skill can outwit, youth and strength and physique and speed, and because you got a guy in his 30s not on TRT who's
Vitor Belfort.
obviously has to slow down, going up against these young 20-some-year-old guys with all this energy and whatever. Can that technique overcome that? Interesting question. I don't know. Maybe it can. Maybe it can't.
It's well, I jokingly said it the other day that I thought the UFC was killing itself, but I mean, we're gonna see. I mean, time will tell.
It might be.
I don't know. We're going down this weird. It's like we're almost trying to eat some bland product now, where everything is just
watered down.
Yes,
like
everything
the NFL?
is. We need it. Must conform. So
are they feeding us that?
Think about it. Think about the UFC 6 months from now when we're, what is it, February? So August-ish. We'll be like a month into this. So we have the uniform policy. We have no more banners. No more drugs.
Fucking
it's gonna be
hell.
different. You might as well just fire Rogan. Just fire all the broadcasters.
Be
get
talking
rid
about
of
the
ring
glory
card
days
girls.
of the drugs and sex and alcohol and
something
crazy stuff.
I still would like to see, and then the other thing we talk about, and this just happened on this card, the weight cutting. Like one of the guys, I think it was TJ
Wahlberger?
Yeah.
Passed out, right?
Bad weight cut, fight canceled. Once again, I think the California State Athletic Commission put out a notice about weight cutting and how to do it safer. But again, UFC is not addressing weight cutting. And did we address this last show? I wanted to ask, is weight cutting cheating? Is that?
Yeah, it was last show of the show before. I don't know. I mean, if
everybody's doing it, if everyone's doing it, what advantage are you getting then?
Well,
if you're cutting 30 pounds and I'm cutting 30
the advantage
pounds,
is that I'm not at a disadvantage. So if I didn't do what you did, then I'd be at a disadvantage.
I don't know.
So that's the same thing with steroids. I mean, it's like that. Come on, it's a competitive thing. I mean, you're doing it, so I have to do it. Even though I don't want to do it, I have to do it because you do it. So I think it's the same thing with
the weight cutting.
Weight cutting with steroids, with whatever.
Why don't they ban that? Or why does no one talk about because that's what's killing people right now. It's not one guy being on performance enhancing drugs. And we're also losing fights to it. So and I didn't look at how many fights we've lost so far, but I know there's been a bunch.
Yeah. I don't think they'll ever address that. I'd be surprised if they do.
It's a hard thing to address, but you need to start at least having a conversation about it.
Yeah.
And we're not having the conversation. UFC has said nothing about it. And I don't know how many fighters are not cutting weight, with exception to heavyweight.
Yeah.
Well,
I definitely have noticed a trend of, if you look at, because I used to watch, because I'm late to the game in sport. You've been watching forever, but I went through the library a couple of years ago of early days, and there's a noticeable difference in how the physique of the guys are in those days versus now. I think the guys are so lean right now. I mean, most of the guys look like superheroes basically, and it's.
Well, just look at Edson Barboza.
Yeah.
We were just talking. You made that point. Like, man, I don't remember this guy being this jacked.
Yeah, I mean, his body fat's got to be so low, and you're talking about weight cutting at that point and doing all those things, and I think that's what happens. Like, things creep up, and it starts to get to the point of out of control. The training is too much, the weight cutting is too much, all the drugs are too much. It's all too much. So they gotta start somewhere. I mean, weight cutting is too arbitrary, but they can say you can't take this, and that. That's it. You can't take this stuff. If you take this stuff,
that's the easier black and white. It's like the weight cutting is a gray area.
who's to say? You might be able to cut 30 pounds. I can only cut 10. And if I cut 12, then I'm almost going to die. But you can do 30 and you're fine. That's too, who knows? Everybody's different. So, but the drugs, very simple. Mm-hmm. You can't take this. It's off. You take this, you're fucking fucked.
Nice. That's a good way. You're fucking fucked. Well, in another case, look at Ben Henderson. He moves up in weight to take a fight on short notice and ends up winning.
Looks good, too. I thought. Looked pretty good.
Yes. And maybe some of these guys should start testing out fighting at closer to your natural weight. I don't know if he cut any weight at 170, but
he might have.
Fucking looked good. I didn't expect
Rumble is like the biggest case of like why you shouldn't cut weight. I mean, look at Rumble Johnson, who fought at 170 for a long time, and now he's at 205 and looking huge. And
he could fight. He's fought at heavyweight. He broke Arlovski's jaw at heavyweight.
Yes, and he looks
still fight there.
Amazing. I mean, this is the best he's ever looked. And you go, how much damage are these guys doing to themselves trying to get down to these lower weight classes to have an advantage? When really they don't have an advantage because their body size and whatever, they're at 60% capacity, fighting a guy who may be at 80% or 90%. So I don't know. It's so arbitrary. I think you'd have to have a doctor involved, and there had to be some sort of like concrete metrics taken, and like your skeletal weight or I don't know, muscular weight, body fat, like some kind of formula that says like if you go outside of this, you have to move up a weight class. Like I don't know how they'd even do it.
Well, I think the first step is, let's have them step on the scale when they're going to get into the octagon.
Just to see where things are?
Yes.
Without penalty.
Just an observation to say, okay, you made the weight at whatever, 155. You're getting ready to walk in the octagon. Obviously you have the tape, whatever.
Yeah, but that's,
you can weigh out what that shit weighs and take it off. But let's say, okay, now you're walking into the octagon, you're 180. Let's just get a general consensus of what these guys weighed in at and what they're actually walking into the cage at. And just get a percentage of what that is.
Is it 10%? Is it 15? Is it 25?
Right. Because obviously it scales differently for like a guy who's 125 pounds versus 205.
Yeah, 125 walking around at 145 is different than 185 walking around at 205.
Right.
It's a big difference.
I think that's where it starts. And then you just know what the percentage is.
You would literally only need one guy. Just a little. You can hire a college kid. Every time that somebody, make them step on the scale, mark it down. That's it. Put it in a database. Do it for a year just to see what are we dealing with here.
Yeah.
How much? I think you'd be surprised.
How dangerous is this? Like what is the safe? Maybe there's a safe amount. I don't know. But the conversation needs to be had, and it's not being had right now. No,
it isn't. They got bigger fish to fry.
I don't know. I think the one that kills the most people is the bigger one.
Sure. Dehydration. That's why they say like if you're out there and starving or trying to survive, the number one thing you need is water. Fuck the food.
Not cock.
Well, cock in your erectile cock is good too. But I'm saying like fluids, water.
True.
You could live without eating for weeks, but with no water, you're fucking dead in like 2 days. So, it's interesting.
It is. What did you think about this move too when they had the UFC press conference about the drugs that they slip in? Oh, we're also going to announce a title fight. We got Robbie Lawler versus Rory McDonald at UFC 189. It's going to slip that one in there.
I like it. Looking. That's a summertime card, isn't it? Most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
It was due. That's the right move. Rory's been overlooked 2 or 3 times, so finally getting a title shot.
Yep. Good for him.
So it means officially no GSP coming back. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to mention, right after his press conference, everybody was saying, usually, you go to Twitter and the fighters have all sorts of opinions on everything. So the UFC announces this big drug testing policy. The sound on Twitter was deafening.
Nothing?
Deafening. There was no fighters coming out saying, oh, this is awesome. And then like an hour later, like someone posting on GSP's account, oh, this is the best ever, drug testing, blah, blah, blah. It's probably not even him posting.
Oh, fuck.
Exactly.
I'm fucked.
That shows you what even more of a problem we have than
yes.
they really thought it was. So
So let me get this straight. We're not supposed to do steroids?
Yeah. That's frowned upon now? This is 2015.
What am I going to do?
So I think that spoke volumes to what's happening, what reality in the sport is. And it still just shocks me that so many people are naive to how many people are actually using stuff. It's it's hard to compete. I mean, wouldn't you say that? I think you even said that today, that MMA fighters are probably the most conditioned athletes out of any sport there is.
Absolutely. I don't think other sports, dude, you play basketball, you play football, you play soccer, everyone has a specialized job. You know, you're doing the same shit repetitively over and over. MMA, you got to be good at everything. And you're practicing everything. Cardio, strength, technique, style. I mean, it's all up, ground game, boxing, fucking kickboxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. You got to be strong, you got to be fast, you got to have stamina for days. I mean, it's like ridiculous. You know, I don't think there's any other sport where you have to have all that.
You got to be mentally tough.
Mentally tough, yes, exactly. There's no person, you can't have an off day and go, oh, Matt's going to save me today. I'll pass him the puck, or I'll give him the ball. He's going to score. You know, whatever. I don't need to play defense. These guys are just going to score a lot. I'm good. You can't have that. It's you and another guy. And if you don't do well, you're going to get fucking embarrassed in front of like millions of people.
And you got 3 months to think about that.
Exactly. So it's tough. It's really tough. You know, there's some guys out there who say that the mental game is the most, you know, who was I just listening? Oh, Joe Schilling. Yeah. He was saying he has a mind coach, which is interesting to me because I get that. You know, I think that is a big part of, as I get older, I've realized that the mental state is so important because like you could be in the best physical shape or be whatever, good at your job or anything, but if your mind is not in the right place, you can't fucking perform. You can't do it. You know, if your shit's fucked up at home or, you know, you got stress at work, it's vice versa. Like you have to have the mental fortitude to perform. And I don't know what's going to happen. This is kind of scary. I don't know. And there's a whole nother aspect. I talked to Comprito about this a lot, of the guys who do steroids. I think it fucks you up in your head because you feel like you can't do it without that. It becomes like a crutch for you. You go, okay, like I can't perform. If I don't take this, I can't do this. And it could be just a sugar pill. You know, placebo effect is pretty damn strong. Imagine, you know, something that like makes you feel young and strong and crazy. You know, from the TRT, whatever. You know.
Well, then you're also going to go through depression. A lot of these guys, because you're used to being able to train to a certain ability and being able to look a certain way, and then you have neither of those.
Imagine a bunch of these strong fighting guys looking in the mirror just crying, I'm fat, I'm ugly, just eating bonbons. Can you imagine? Look at these lumps on my body. I'm so fat, I got love handles.
So, I mean,
that'd be funny.
There's a lot of weird shit that's going to happen. I mean, we're going to wait and see, I guess, July.
It's crazy.
Would be it.
But you know, the interesting thing is things are always changing. So
they are.
At least change is inevitable.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we talk about them swinging the pendulum this far over. I mean, it's got to come back, and typically they knee jerk it. The UFC was like, "Fuck, bad, push it all the way this way." We got to bring it back, and hopefully it swings back with what I want to see with the rule changes and some other things like. You're going to have to help these fighters be able to finish fights more effectively because now I don't know if it's shorter rounds, rule changes with the stuff we talked about last week, 12-6 elbows, soccer kicks, stomps. I'm for everything. Just fuck it. No holds barred. Except punches to the groin, you know, that kind of shit. But
okay.
We'll see where it swings back to. We're here. Let's bring it back here. Whatever that happens to be. Pride rules. I don't know. Can we get out of that one?
Please.
Go into something
else?
It's
been a long discussion.
Yeah, it is, but it needs to happen. Let's talk about, how do you like this UFC 187 card that they just announced? You want me to lay it down?
Please.
And I'll ask why they're doing this. So you have John Jones versus Anthony Johnson. Chris Weidman versus Vitor Belfort. Travis Brown versus Andrei Arlovsky. And Cowboy Cerrone versus Khabib Nurmagomedov.
I like it a lot. Oof. I don't think this will actually happen as laid out, but okay.
Do you think it's a response to all this enhanced drug testing and the image problem, and we need to just go full bore on something?
It's it looks like one of the greatest cards ever on paper in like years. I mean, if it all actually happens.
Yeah, that's the question. Does it happen? I feel like it's a jinx.
The only thing that would make it better is if Brock Lesnar comes out of retirement.
Oh, shit.
Can you imagine?
Secret match.
Secret match. There you go.
And Frank Mir just got his win. It's prime for Frank Mir, Brock Lesnar, tree.
Yes.
We love the trilogy.
Yeah. Frank probably would take that one.
Fuck yeah. It makes total sense now.
Yes.
The whole thing's better work. Bigfoot took a dive.
Yeah. It's, these big cards, I don't ever get excited about them anymore.
I know, you gotta wait.
Someone's getting hurt, multiple people are getting moved around to other cards where there's injuries, and it's just going to end up being, 187 is like the worst card ever.
Well, that's like, we were going to talk about this Rousey fight, but that was UFC 184.
Yes.
You had Belfort and Weidman were supposed to be on that, and Yoel Romero and Jacare.
Did not happen, though.
And now it's a card that I have no interest in watching.
No. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we can go into it.
Let's go into UFC 184, Rousey versus Zingano, happening February 28th in Los Angeles, California. Interesting. Rousey fights in her home area, sort of.
Yes.
Stockton, 209, bitches.
That's right. So Ronda Rousey 10-0 versus Kat Zingano 9-0, both undefeated. Finally getting to have their match where they were supposed to be coaches on one of the seasons, Ultimate Fighter, where it ended up being Miesha Tate instead of Kat Zingano. Now Kat's back after injury, her husband passing away. Now she's ready. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, the funny thing is, I was just looking at this. Between the two women, there's only been one decision. They both finished every single one of their fights except one. And Zingano's fight was a while ago, like second or third fight of her career. So does this go the distance? No way in hell.
What?
Somebody's getting finished in this fucker. And I'm thinking, all right.
Early or late?
Middle. I'm going to call middle. I'm saying like second, third roundish.
Okay.
The first round is going to be crazy. Of course it is. Rousey's going to come out balls blazing, crazy, like mug in your face, like I'm a crazy psycho. But Zingano's she's going to survive. It's going to be all right. She's going to stay away from the armbar. That's really the big threat, because I don't think in the boxing, Rousey can win that fight. And Zingano's so goddamn strong. She's a big, strong wrestler. She has jiu-jitsu background. I feel like the strength and the ground and pound is going to be too much for Rousey. I think this will be the first time we see Rousey in really big trouble, and I think Zingano can finish this fight late second, early third round with some ground and pound. I think Rousey loses the belt. Zingano, dude, this is the only chick that gives me a hard time on the UFC video game. Fucking Zingano. Every time I fight with Rousey, it's crazy brutal. Yeah. So I think their styles are just interesting enough where, I think it's going to be a big clash. And strength, wrestling, and ground and pound, I think wins this fight. Yeah. Zingano's a big girl, man.
I don't know, but you were just talking about, what did you think about Rousey's physique when she was on the Conan O'Brien show?
She looked a little big.
Nice.
Like thick. Solid, tight.
She should look like that for her Sports Illustrated shoot. Because I wasn't a fan of the pictures I saw.
She's looking a little thick. So I don't know what her deal is, but her boxing has improved. I mean, I guess. What do you think's going to happen? Do you agree? Do you disagree?
I think this is going to be a long, drawn-out battle.
Really?
Yeah. Because typically Zingano starts off slow.
True.
But you got to look at her first couple of appearances in the octagon. So like the first one she came out, she was so happy. I think she was crying on the way out to the octagon, like, oh my God, I finally made it, I'm here. And then the second time, like, she comes back from that long layoff and all the bullshit, and like this is her time to really shine. And fuck, she throws that girl over her head, and then gets on top of her and like pounds her out, and then roars like a lion. It's like, fuck. And the thing from her, like, you watch, I don't know if it was a prime time or whatever his show was, but she's fighting for her kid, and I forget, like, as a mother, she's a single mother now. That's some fucking, I don't even know, some primal shit inside of you when you're fighting for your child and their welfare and the survival. Like, Like, you're going to be able to take some extra punches and some bullshit in the heart to push through it. So I even could imagine, like, remember when Ronda Rousey fought Miesha Tate that first time and she broke her arm? She's like, fucking whatever, lady, I don't care. Keep breaking it. I can imagine that same kind of scenario going down here where she could possibly get her arm broken, but fight through it. Fight through it.
Zingano?
Yes.
Okay.
And what I think you need to do against Rousey, and a lot of these women are not doing, is keep the distance. Everyone gets suckered into this, let's just fucking come here.
That's bad
and
news for you.
Throw bombs.
Don't do
and
that.
Next thing you know, you're judoed down and out and pounded out.
You can't let her get a hold of you.
Kneed out, elbowed out. Although, Zingano's clinch is strong, but, clinch versus the judo hasn't been working out for typically anybody that she's been fighting. No. So it's usually, clinch, I'm on my back, and now I'm fucked. So.
Sorry, this is bugging me. Where'd you get this? Did you notice this poster says Sunday, March 1st?
It doesn't matter.
Is that weird? Where did that come from?
I don't know. I just pull it up.
Is that like a strange UFC fuck up?
It's like a Fox thing.
It's weird.
Smoking beers, they go, just look at the ladies, not the dates.
Okay. That's weird.
I do no pre-show.
It's creeping me out, like as if like something weird's going to happen.
It's all happening.
Do they know something we don't know?
It's going to be a drawing, though. So I would like to see Zingano keep distance, use the push kick, keep the striking, use more of the kicky kicks.
Okay.
And I think she pushes through it. I don't know if it's going to go to a decision, but I'm going to say a decision. I'm leaning towards Zingano.
5-rounder? Holy
Yeah.
schmoly. Okay.
I think she just. I think the biggest thing against Rousey is you got to get out of the first round because she's so accustomed to winning in the first. I know the last fight against Miesha Tate was what, 2 or 3, and then her last fight was like 16-second first round demolition. So I don't see that one happening here. I see a long fight, and I see Zingano winning a split decision. And I think it would actually be good for the sport if Zingano could win because we've had such a discrepancy in. You see Ronda Rousey is so much better than all the other fighters that hopefully Kat can like put her in her place a little bit.
Little finger bang action?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe. And then the other thing I want to mention is we also have Chris Cyborg fighting the same weekend in the same city like the night before this fight happens.
On Friday?
Yeah, so I'm almost wondering if, say, Cyborg wins and she's fighting at 145, and say Rousey wins, she's fighting at 135. Could we possibly see Chris Cyborg come into the octagon if Rousey wins and challenge her to a fight at 135 at UFC 191 or sometime in the future?
Dana's going to sign the behind-the-scenes contract.
Yeah, seems a little curious, is all I'm saying. Almost seems like there's something in there. But I don't know about this Chris Cyborg making the 135, and why not just bring in a 145 division? Let Cyborg run rampant, and then let's talk about a super fight that never happens.
Yeah.
Catch weight 140.
Keep it interesting.
So we're both going with Kat.
I'm surprised. I thought you'd pick Rousey for sure. Okay. 8-ball says.
8-ball. Better not tell you now. Ooh, playing dirty. Ronda Rousey for the Magic 8-ball. Here, I'll change your March 1st slide.
That's weird. It's creeping me out because it's like I feel like it's like
it's probably from Brazil.
Foreshadowing or something, and like something weird's gonna happen.
It's foreskinning you.
What if there's like a major storm and the like wouldn't that be weird? It's delayed.
What's that? They were talking about that for one of the events. Was it because the Super Bowl?
They
possibly
moved it.
Delayed
Yeah, so they moved it. Remember?
I don't remember.
Didn't they move it?
I think they talked about it, but I don't remember.
They never did. I can't remember. That was last year.
We're really close at having points, but not right there.
Yes. We somewhat remember what happened, but not really.
I think that's the best way to go through life.
Yes.
Just be close, but it's like horseshoes.
No, I think I might have read this on the internet.
Or something.
Yes.
Hand grenades. Moving right on. Ask the Nuts! Gustavo Ribeiro. What titles do you think will change hands in 2015?
I'm gonna say multiples.
Mm-hmm.
Rousey.
You just say weight class?
Yeah.
35 women?
35 women. I'm gonna say 185 men. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say 205 men.
Yeah, agree.
I'm gonna say 145 men.
Who's even a belt holder now?
Although, I'm gonna say.
I was thinking heavyweight for sure.
Yeah, heavyweight.
It's two and done. And Cain Velasquez probably not coming back.
No.
But we'll see. It's rumored at May.
Can Lawler hold the belt? I don't know. I'm gonna say 170 as well.
Yeah. I think we're finally at that good time. We talked about that years ago where we had all these, like you had Anderson Silva, GSP, and everyone was so friggin' dominant. Mm-hmm. And then it's like finally you get some of these guys to go away and it's, everything gets a little more interesting. The guys are good, but they're not like greatest of all time kind of guys.
Mm-hmm. Especially now without the drugs.
Yeah. It's a whole new world.
It's normal.
I feel like they should play like it's a whole new world. Or
wasn't somebody playing like the Titanic song today?
I don't know.
I swear I heard that on the piano. Like somebody was playing Titanic.
Probably.
Who was playing the piano? Do you recall? Was it your daughter?
Brother-in-law's son.
Okay. He was pretty good.
Yeah. Rodrigo Machado. Who would star as Matt and Ingo in the MMA Nuts movie?
Oh, no.
He suggests Keanu Reeves as Ingo.
What?
And Jason Statham as Matt.
I like it.
Done.
Keanu Reeves.
Argue.
Okay. I'm there.
That was in all my favorite movies.
Wait a second, though. Keanu Reeves like Bill and Ted's or Keanu Reeves like Point Break? Which one are we talking about here? Or The Matrix? That's interesting.
Hey, he's in a lot of good movies. I like all the Point Break.
I still got to see that. John Wick. Everyone keeps recommending
John. That one's pretty good, is it?
Everyone keeps telling me that's the shit.
I think it was on Amazon.
A lot of action. Supposedly. That and like there's...
Isn't he in some samurai movie? I didn't see that one yet.
Supposedly, yeah. But they recommend that, and then there's that one about that German mathematician. No, the German mathematician. A Beautiful Mind, or something like that.
I don't know.
Or something like that.
He's a damn good actor.
Imitation Game, that's what it's called. Yeah, I don't know. I think he won some Oscars. The Oscars are happening right now. I haven't seen like 92% of the movies. I've seen like one, maybe
exactly.
two. Gone Girl is good. I told you that.
Which one?
Gone Girl. I like that. That's fucked up. The ending,
who's
Ben Affleck.
Okay.
The ending, I was like, wow, okay. I guess, man. It's good for you.
I'm in.
Yeah, it's gonna mind fuck you. I don't think you want to watch that movie.
For a good mind fuck.
Yeah, I don't think you want to be in for that. It's a ride.
Oh, mind fucking like Fight Club mind fuck? That's I think the biggest mind fuck ever. I didn't like that ending. Anyway. Justin Dr. Brown Carter, he's gonna close it out. He said, if you guys had to go on a Braveheart style raid into battle, what three fighters are with you?
Braveheart?
He's saying he's taking Nick Diaz, Rumble, and GSP because he brings the aliens. And what animals will you guys ride in the battle?
Ooh, interesting question.
Well, I'll agree with the Nick Diaz.
For sure.
You need cardio and weed. For sure.
I'm going to say Nick and Nate Diaz.
Oh,
I'll take both.
I don't know. That'd be too crazy. They might team up on you.
All good.
They might kill you and eat you.
Nick and Nate Diaz.
Okay.
And who would be my third? Just who's crazy? Who's the most crazy? I'm going to go with Cody McKenzie. The guy says off the reservation crazy.
I'm going to Kenzatine you or whatever his thing is.
Yeah. Or bite you in the ear and pull your hair. What was he doing?
I don't know. Headbutt you.
Headbutt.
Illegal.
That's it.
No, the other guy pulled his hair and then he headbutt him.
I would take a liger into battle.
What's that?
It's a tiger and a lion combined.
Fuck hard.
Yes. Never heard of a liger?
No.
Okay. What about you, sir?
Well, I'm taking Nick Diaz for sure, and I'm probably going to take GSP just so I can watch the interaction between those two, and I don't have to worry about cardio. I'm just going to sit back and not do any work, and then I'm probably going to take Chris Cyborg with me.
Well,
so I could take care of business.
For obvious reasons.
And then she could take care of business. And she'll keep them
at bay.
In check, yes.
Okay.
and then everyone will be happy. Everyone's got cardio. Matt's satisfied. What am I riding in the battle? That's a good question. What kind of animal do I want? Do dolphin? Can they make it on ground? I want a dolphin.
Lasers.
The team of raccoons of some sort to claw your eyes out. I don't know.
Team of raccoons. What the fuck?
Yes. Definitely not squirrels, though.
No, fuck them.
That's it. You got any knowledge for this week?
Not really.
Play any good games, video games right now?
No, dude. I was telling you,
you're on a break.
Big
right?
into like reading. I've been reading. I'm reading Watchmen, the graphic novel.
Okay.
I almost finished Walking Dead.
Is that the superhero?
Sort of like real people that are
Yeah.
superheroes. I'm about halfway through that. I haven't seen the movie in a long time. It's pretty good. I've been it's weird. I got into like comic book graphic novel thing like the last month or two. And all started from The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of good stories out there I never even knew about, you know? You go on, read the shit. Yeah, I've been trying to like not be connected at night. I feel like maybe I'm like amped up too much of like...
Turn your wireless off yet?
No. Dude, I definitely notice like I have anxiety when I don't have this thing with me. Like for a while, I start to feel weird.
Do you turn it off at night? Your phone even when you plug it in?
No.
You should do that too.
Turn it off?
Or at least turn it in the airplane mode.
It's my alarm clock in the morning.
Turn it to airplane mode.
Okay, maybe I'll try
so
that.
It's not like bombing
broadcasting.
You. Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like it's something's going on. Like I want to try to go back to analog. You know, like try to, you know.
Good move.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because we're like planning a family vacation for the summer, and I'm thinking. Our best vacation we ever had was like when we went up north and nothing worked. The phones didn't work. Yeah. Like there was no. It was like we just shut everything off.
You should check out that. Where are we going? To Starved Rock. Those cabins.
I heard about that.
There.
Yeah.
We're going back for spring break for a couple of days. Yeah.
Yeah. We went to Dordt County, Wisconsin, which we liked a lot. I think we're gonna go back there. The place we rented is available still. So, I don't know. As I maybe I'm getting too old. Is that what happens when you get old?
I don't know.
You just don't want to be like plugged in anymore.
I think you need to check out because I look at like my daughter had a party today and like before the party, all these fucking kids are on every single electronic device. We don't know what it's like to not be on something anymore.
Yes.
Like you gotta just get away, and even if it's just to watch, like when we go out to that the cabin. Out at Starved Rock, the only thing you could do is like watch a movie. Some of them are on VHS.
That's awesome.
Like the TV doesn't even receive any channel. You could only watch like a VHS movie. And it's like, wow, this is you get no cell phone reception, no computer, fucking nothing.
Yeah, it's different.
And to bring the dog with.
Yeah, even better. Yeah, I don't think they allow pets where I go, but
yeah, I kind of like that too because especially if you're out in like a weird cabin-like area, you've got some sort of security.
Protection.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
There's something to be said for that, to go analog. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely noticed a difference in even my son. Like I've been trying to like play board games with him and stuff to get away from the video games. He seems calmer. Yeah. You know? He's not so hyped up all the time. I think there's something to that.
I want to get back to, and I want to try this maybe even one day a week, just cut the power. Maybe not one day a week, but one day a month.
Did you talk to your wife about this?
Let's cut the power today.
So wait a minute, Matt. You're telling me we're going to cut the power?
We're cutting the power.
No lights and shit? Nope. We're going to have candles, and there's going to be no refrigerator. And you're going to fucking figure it out.
Don't you have, like, we have great times when the power goes out.
Yeah, well, yeah. If, you know, you light some candles and you all, like, huddle together.
You're playing games, or you might put a movie in on a fucking laptop.
Well,
but the point is, you gotta get creative, and typically, if you have power, you have access to everything, so you're not using all your juices.
No,
I think that's what it comes down to.
Well, in college, I always did the 1 week right before school started camping trip for like 4 years in a row, 5 years in a row. We used to do that. August.
I wonder why mushrooms involved.
I had no comment. But the thing that I always loved about it was literally like, well, back then cell phones weren't like popular.
Right.
You know, I still had a fucking pager.
It was a brick
or whatever. So, you know, I just remember being really like chilled out going into school because it was like, I just spent a week like in the woods, hanging out, canoeing, building fires at night, and I mean, there's something to that. I think, you know, there really is.
Get back to the roots. I think we're getting too far away from it.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't evolved as humans to be able to handle this constant like input, inputs.
Bombing you with signals.
So my son was on the phone talking to Siri yesterday.
Oh, now
Just
he's
fucking for an hour asking this question after question. And my wife and I are looking at each other going, is this the phone guy ever going to go tell him to fuck off? Like, he's literally...
Hey kid, go fuck yourself.
He's like, one question, and before she even gets done answering, he's like, hits it again. I got another question. The questions were really good, but I'm just like, dude, like, you know, it's funny. It's crazy to think you could have that nowadays. You can ask your phone anything you want.
They think it's a real person, though. That's the scary thing.
He's like, who is this lady? Why does she keep
man.
telling me what I want to know? Like, I don't know, dude. She slips down our phones. It's like, do I have that on my Kindle? I'm like, nope.
Where does poop come from? I don't know.
He hit a lot of good questions.
I'm gonna search Google for you.
And he's like, you're not listening to me. Let me tell you again. I'm like, oh no. She's gonna come through the phone and beat him up.
Yeah. I forget what I asked Siri.
Is there a way to check?
What's my name?
You're Matt, but you asked me to call you the Grinch.
Goddamn right.
Wait, how does she know that?
What?
That you asked her to call you the Grinch.
We got a little thing going.
Okay. Got a little side action with your Siri.
Something.
Wait, let me try that. I've never tried that before.
What?
Double tap, is that what it is?
Just hold it in until she comes up.
What's my name?
Your team. That's what you told me. Anyway.
She said I'm team.
Oh. Whoa! That's how he's playing it.
Okay.
He likes the team sports.
Okay.
It's all good.
How does she know you asked her to call you the Grinch?
I told that bitch. We have conversations.
Here. Call me Dr. Love.
You would like me to call you Dr. Love? Dr.
Yes.
Love. That's a nice name.
The damn right it is.
Let's try it. What is my name?
Your team. But since we are friends, I get to call you Dr. Love.
Goddamn right.
Okay. Awesome. Now I'm all set.
Yep. We win.
On that note,
Game over.
we've figured out technology.
That's right.
That has been this week's edition of MMA Nuts. Turn off your fucking phone for a minute.
Yes.
And your computer. Yeah. Stop watching this show for like...
Don't beat off for a week.
Yes. What?
Thanks for playing.
Bye-bye.